The surfers arrived at False Bay before sunrise, like they did every morning. Boards under their arms, eyes on the water, looking for waves. What they found stopped them cold. A great white shark is on the beach at False Bay, 4 meters, 800 kilograms. A great white shark lay still on the sand. Between its pectoral fins, a clean oval hole. The liver is gone, the rest of the body untouched. No bite marks, no propeller damage, no sign of a struggle. Just one precise opening, and the sand beneath it was soaked with fat. The great white is the most dangerous animal in False Bay. This is its territory. Nothing in False Bay dares to challenge it. What turned it into prey? Today you'll discover the identity of the predator that cut the great white shark population of False Bay from around 1,000 to almost 0. A killer so elusive, it remained invisible for 7 years. Subscribe so you won't miss our next video about surprising animal behavior. Now, let's continue. False Bay, southwestern tip of South Africa. For years, it had the densest documented population of great white sharks on the planet. Cage dive boats went out every morning before dawn. Tourists gripped the bars of steel cages as 4-meter sharks moved through the water below them. The Discovery Channel built a multi-season franchise here, Air Jaws, around sharks breaching 3 meters out of the water to intercept Cape Fur seals. Marine researchers came from across the world and stayed for years. They named the sharks. Dive operators knew their faces, their scars, their seasonal patterns. One of those sharks was Khaleesi, a 4.9-meter female. She appeared in the bay reliably enough that dive operators photographed her on visit after visit. She had a recognizable dorsal fin, documented markings, a consistent route. Divers who had been in the water with her for years knew her on sight from the cage. Dr. Alison Towner of Rhodes University had been tracking white shark movement in South Africa for 17 years. False Bay was her primary field site. She knew its shark population the way a ranger knows a reserve. Her work was methodical: satellite tags, population surveys, years of data on where these animals went and when. In 2014, the boat still went out for the same reason: to put people in cages and bring great whites close. Around 2015, another large shark washed onto the beach with the same kind of wound. Researchers photographed the wound and looked for an explanation. The first candidate was a boat strike. Propeller damage kills sharks. It happens in these waters. But propeller wounds are distributed across the body: jagged cuts, blunt trauma to the flanks, damage to multiple areas. They do not produce a single clean oval opening between the pectoral fins with no other marks on the animal. The boat strike theory didn't fit the wound. The second candidate was poaching. Shark fin poaching is documented along the South African coast, but poachers take fins. That's where the market is. Every fin on this carcass was still attached. Poaching didn't fit either. The third candidate was natural death followed by scavenging. Animals die at sea, wash ashore, and scavengers feed on them. Scavengers eat what's easiest to reach, and they keep eating. They don't extract one specific organ, leave 300 kilograms of flesh untouched, and disappear. The carcass did not match scavenging. Boat strike failed. Poaching failed. Scavenging failed. And then a second carcass washed up with the same oval wound. By 2017, at least 7 great white shark carcasses had appeared along the False Bay coastline. Researchers put the photographs side by side, and the pattern was hard to miss. The wound appeared on sharks of different sizes, found on different beaches, in different months. But its position did not change. Then the next carcass was identified as Khaleesi. Khaleesi's body was on the sand, the same wound between her fins. Divers who had photographed her alive from the cage for years identified her by her dorsal fin and her markings. She was not a new animal to anyone who worked this bay. A second shark survived that year. She was found alive, with long parallel rake marks along her flank, evenly spaced, consistent in depth across the full length of the marks. The marks did not match a shark bite or a propeller strike. The spacing and depth were consistent with an orca bite. Something had approached her from the side, gripped her, and released. Boat operators had also been recording sightings near the carcass sites. Two orcas with unusual dorsal fins kept appearing near the sites where the carcasses washed up. One dorsal fin collapsed to the left, one collapsed to the right. Collapsed dorsal fins in male orcas are associated with age and chronic stress. The operators named them Port and Starboard. Port and Starboard had been reported along this coast since 2009. At first, nothing tied them to great white shark kills. Then the carcasses started appearing, and the same two fins kept being logged near the sites. One bent left, one bent right. The sightings were not enough. They needed the attack on camera. On May 16, 2022, the cameras finally caught it. Mossel Bay, early morning. A drone operated by Christian Stopforth of Drone Fanatics SA and a helicopter were both in the air over a reported orca sighting. The cameras caught 5 orcas hunting great white sharks in open water. Starboard, identifiable by the right collapsed dorsal fin, was filmed at the surface with a large piece of shark liver in his mouth. After the attack, the research team pulled satellite tag data for every tagged white shark in the area. 10 sharks had been in the water that morning. 8 days after the attack, 1 tagged animal remained in the area, then 0. 45 days passed with no white shark recorded in Mossel Bay waters. 1 tagged shark relocated 400 kilometers east along the coast and did not return. Starboard was now on camera. The wound still had to be explained. Port and Starboard are offshore-type orcas, a population known for flat, worn teeth. Those teeth are suited to gripping sharks and crushing cartilage. They are different from the cleaner, conical teeth seen in seal hunting orcas. An adult male orca of this type reaches 5 to 6 meters in length and can weigh up to 6 tons. At speed in open water, a male orca matches the swimming speed of a fleeing great white shark. The hunting method, reconstructed from the 2022 footage and consistent with the wound patterns on every prior carcass, works in 3 steps. First, the orca rams the shark to disorient it. Second, the orca flips the shark onto its back. In that position, a great white can enter tonic immobility, a known response in which the animal goes still instead of fighting back. Researchers had documented tonic immobility in sharks independently of this case. It is a known and repeatable response to inversion, not a rare reaction. Third, with the shark immobilized, the orca bites between the pectoral fins and extracts the liver. The great white's liver accounts for up to 30% of its body weight. It is the densest energy source in the animal, rich in squalene and lipids. After extraction, the rest of the carcass is released and left behind. The oval wound between the pectoral fins, present on every carcass since 2015, is the exit point of Step 3. The 2022 footage showed a group hunt. In 2023, Starboard appeared alone. Great white sharks respond to a single approaching predator by circling, keeping the threat in their field of vision, sides never exposed. Against 5 orcas closing from different angles simultaneously, the circling response fails. There is no position the shark can hold that keeps all 5 animals in front of it at once. June 18, 2023. Mossel Bay, near Seal Island. Esther Jacobs of Keep Fin Alive was aboard a research vessel. She watched Starboard approach a 2.5-meter juvenile great white from behind, alone. No other orcas present. "My stomach dropped," she said. Starboard gripped the shark by the left pectoral fin, thrust forward, eviscerated it, and surfaced with the liver in his jaw. He passed the research boat. The sequence lasted under 2 minutes. A second great white carcass, 3.55 meters bows, was found in the same area shortly after. Starboard had killed a great white alone in under 2 minutes. Published in the African Journal of Marine Science in March 2024, the first documented solo orca kill of a great white shark in scientific literature. After the 2022 filming event, Towner pulled the full satellite tag dataset for white sharks across False Bay and Mossel Bay. By 2020, a bay she had once logged as holding roughly 800 to 1,000 individual great white sharks showed near zero sightings. She had spent 17 years building that dataset. The tags no longer placed the sharks in False Bay. Sightings in False Bay dropped 82% between the 2000 to 2015 baseline and the 2016 to 2020 period. The last confirmed sighting of a great white in False Bay was logged in August 2018. The cage dive operators in Gansby and False Bay had already shut down. The Airjaws production had arrived at False Bay and found no sharks to film. Businesses that had operated for over a decade on the daily presence of white sharks in this specific stretch of water closed. On February 24, 2023, near Pearly Beach close to Gansby, at least 17 broad-nosed seven-gill shark carcasses washed ashore in a single day. Each carcass showed the same pattern: liver removed, oval wound between the pectoral fins. Marine operator records and independent observers documented the count. A researcher walking the shoreline counted them out loud: 1, 2, 3. The count reached 17 on one stretch of beach, 17 animals, one day. Cape fur seals had been held within a specific range by white shark predation in False Bay for decades. With the white sharks gone, with the white sharks gone, the seal population expanded its range along the coastline. An African penguin breeding colony in the area found seals moving into feeding grounds they had not previously occupied in those numbers. Towner noted this sequence in a 2022 podcast for the Save Our Seas Foundation. Shark absence allowed seal range expansion, and that expansion reached penguin habitat. The seven-gill shark population expanded into territory the great whites had held. Seven-gill sharks prey on smaller sharks and fish, species that had previously been regulated by a different predator at a different level of the food chain. The vacancy at the top did not stay empty. It reorganized. Since mid-2024, a rabies outbreak has spread through the western Cape seal population, reaching Mossel Bay in July of that year. Healthy apex predator populations help contain such outbreaks by culling sick and weakened animals, a function the great whites can no longer perform. In September 2025, port and starboard were sighted in Calc Bay Harbor, Cape Town. Fishermen watched them move past the dock together. The bent fins crossed the harbor water. Then they went under. They left behind a question that still has no answer. Why did they start hunting great white sharks? Was it hunger? Or was it a changing ocean that brought these two predators together? What do you think? Leave your theory in the comments.